So, you took this course for a reason? But at the very beginning there is no point in talking about why this happened, and what exactly you will get with the course. I'll go the other way and tell you why you can't get that anywhere else. I will not scold any specific courses and lectures, but I will say something that is very important and characterizes all approaches and practices in the study of human misfortunes. People have been exploring and studying the mind for ages, using various methods and approaches. Some of the early methods included introspection, meditation, and philosophy. In more recent times, advancements in neuroscience and psychology have enabled researchers to use scientific methods to study the brain and behavior. The study of the mind has a long and complex history, spanning centuries of research, exploration, and discovery. Many great personalities have taken part in this history. Many teachings were spread among people. In order to give you a sense of how complex the science of human consciousness is, let me list at least the main milestones. Let's start with Western history. In ancient times, philosophers such as Aristotle and Plato explored the nature of the mind and its relationship to the body. They believed that the mind and body were separate entities, with the mind having the ability to control and direct the body. In the 18th and 19th centuries, early psychiatrists such as Philippe Pinel and William Tuke advocated for more humane treatment of individuals with mental health conditions. They believed that mental illness was a medical condition, rather than a moral failing, and advocated for more compassionate and humane treatment of those who were suffering. In the early 20th century, Sigmund Freud developed the theory of psychoanalysis, which emphasized the role of the unconscious mind in shaping behavior and emotions. He believed that unconscious conflicts and repressed emotions could lead to mental health conditions, and that talk therapy could help individuals work through these issues. In the mid-20th century, behaviorism emerged as a major school of thought in psychology. Behaviorists believed that all behavior was learned through experience, and that mental processes such as thoughts and feelings were irrelevant. They advocated for the use of conditioning techniques, such as rewards and punishments, to shape behavior. In the 1960s and 1970s, cognitive psychology emerged as a major school of thought in psychology. Cognitive psychologists emphasized the role of mental processes such as perception, memory, and thinking in shaping behavior and emotions. They believed that cognitive restructuring and cognitive behavioral therapy could help individuals change negative thought patterns and improve mental health. Cognitive psychology remains a dominant and influential perspective in the field of psychology. However, it has been expanded and enriched by new developments in related fields such as neuroscience, cognitive neuroscience, and artificial intelligence. In recent years, there has been a growing interest in embodied cognition, which emphasizes the importance of the body and its relationship to the mind in shaping behavior and cognition. This perspective suggests that our bodies play a more active role in cognition than previously thought, and that bodily experiences and sensations can influence our thoughts and emotions. Eastern teachings, such as those found in Buddhism, Hinduism, and Taoism, offer a unique perspective on the human mind and its relationship to the world. The practices studied in the East in many ways complement the Western view of the human mind and bring the missing components into the picture. Mindfulness is a central concept in many Eastern teachings. It refers to the practice of being fully present and aware of one's thoughts, feelings, and sensations in the present moment. Mindfulness meditation is often used as a way to cultivate greater awareness and reduce stress and anxiety. Non-attachment is the idea that we should not become attached to our thoughts, feelings, or material possessions. By cultivating a sense of detachment, we can reduce suffering and find greater peace and contentment. The concept of emptiness refers to the idea that all things are ultimately empty of inherent existence. This does not mean that things do not exist, but rather that they exist in a state of constant change and interdependence. By recognizing the interconnected nature of all things, we can cultivate greater compassion and wisdom. The concept of selflessness refers to the idea that there is no fixed or permanent self. Instead, our sense of self is constantly changing and evolving. By recognizing the impermanence of the self, we can reduce attachment and find greater peace and freedom. Eastern teachings and cognitive psychology share some similarities in their understanding of the human mind and behavior, but they also have some important differences. Both Eastern teachings and cognitive psychology recognize the importance of the individual's subjective experience of the world. In Eastern teachings, mindfulness and non-judgmental awareness are emphasized to help individuals become more aware of their thoughts and feelings, while in cognitive psychology, cognitive therapy also focuses on increasing awareness and understanding of one's thoughts and feelings. However, there is also an important difference. Eastern teachings often emphasize the importance of interconnectedness of all things, while cognitive psychology places more emphasis on the importance of actively changing one's thoughts and behaviors. However, it is not superfluous to say that there is also a growing interest in integrating these perspectives to help individuals live more fulfilling and meaningful lives. Most likely, this will be an important breakthrough in the study of human behavior. But you see, there are so many practices and teachings, both in Eastern and Western culture. And still people do not find peace. Each of us is constantly faced with difficulties that are often accompanied by an unpleasant emotional background, and even the most advanced and knowledgeable people always have problems. Humanity is a society of restless patience. Thus, all this diversity of approaches and teachings alone raises questions. First, why hasn't a single and comprehensive, the only true view of the human mind appeared? Why hasn't there been a single cure? Should we wait for the teachings to unite? Is there a chance that this will happen soon, or will we not get what we want? Second, is it possible that we already have ways to work on our well-being without having to learn and know all these contradictory approaches? Then, with such a spread of different practices and opinions, where do you start? Let me add fuel to the fire, and complicate all these issues even more. There is a main reason why a cure for every mental health condition does not exist. Mental health conditions are complex and can arise from a combination of genetic, environmental, and lifestyle factors. So mental health conditions manifest differently in different individuals, which makes it difficult to develop a cure that can effectively treat all variations of a particular condition. We are very different in terms of behavior and perception, there is no doubt about it. And if anyone doubts, this has already been proven by science. The fact that we are different determines the impossibility of treating everyone with the same medicine. Just as a good doctor measures the dose of medicine individually for a patient with his symptoms, and another dose of another drug for a patient with other symptoms, so in the science of the study of the mind, various methods should be used. And the main problem to this day is that none of the mentioned disciplines has ever found the final correct approach to determine the differences. This may seem obvious, but look at the practitioners who use and recommend the same practices to everyone without a hitch. Now this is somewhat premature, however, the same self-esteem courses are only suitable for those who already have it high. But leave your objections now. We will talk about self-esteem later. Throughout this course, focus on the existence of differences, and do not forget for the slightest second the existence of differences between people. And, as I promised at the very beginning, let's sum up the most important result of the first lesson. We are all different, and despite the vast experience of mankind in knowing our behavior, our psychological problems, the very request with which you came to study this course is so individual that there is no way to read one lecture that is the same for everyone and help everyone. Rather, understanding our differences will help you gain a view of your problem in a novel way and will give you a direction to move forward. Therefore, the next lesson we will devote to our problems in the context of our differences.